Hi, hello, and welcome to LearnStroke IAS classes by Arjun. In this exam code, likewise, every time we discuss the wonderful strategies with everybody, how to prepare. Today's question, class 3, is a very good question that a lot of aspirants have a problem. If you're a beginner, or even if you're a veteran who has who have already completed 2 or 3 attempts, this doesn't matter because the question that you see, should I study for the prelims exam or should I study for the mains exam? What is something that you should really do? You know that the prelims examination is one of the most toughest examination because UPSC basically, what they do is actually they eliminate the aspirants. So, and obviously mains examination is all about writing. And do you think writing is very easy? No, writing is not at all easy. It takes a lot of practice. So, the basic question still remains, how should I study? Should I study for the prelims or should I study for the mains examination? Is a big question that we need to understand. So in today's session, let's quickly understand that. And for all the aspirants, if you have not downloaded LearnStroke IAS app, you can actually download the app and watch all the wonderful video classes like this in the app. And you can also solve the test press, so the free current affairs quiz in the app, and please do download it. And definitely, if you're looking for a UPSC 2024 batch, you can definitely join the online batch and the offline classes in Thrissur and Malappuram in Kerala. And if you want to join the prelims integrated batch, work on that. Let's work out the prelims test series, mains test series, and also a lot of people after the videos have been asking about mentoring. I've been getting a lot of inquiries about mentoring. So definitely, it's a good thing. Whether if you feel that your preparation is good, we will definitely have that correct direction. So, and also do check out the important concept called Kickstart, which is India's first IAS masterclass, which tells you how to start your preparation without anybody's help. So, all set, let's begin the class immediately. Should we study for prelims? As you see, prelims is the most difficult thing. And at this time, you know that mains is also a very difficult thing. And you very clearly know that close to around 10 lakh people, 10 to 12 lakh people in India appear for this examination. And out of that, which I normally tell is, it's very sure, most of the people who apply do not write the examination. Only the most cream people write the examination. Out of that, I'm very sure the real competition lies between 1 lakh people. Trust me, the real competition in India lies with the 1 lakh best people. And out of that, close to 13 to 14,000 people are selected every year. That means they qualify for the mains examination and they are supposed to write the mains examination. So prelims is nothing but it is going to be an elimination where they do not want you. UPSC do not want you or do not want non-serious aspirants. They want serious aspirants who can bring out a change in India, who think in the way whether you can make a change in India or not. So that is the criteria. So for that, always understand this is going to be an elimination, and this is where prelims is a nightmare for so many people. You know, in my career, spanning across almost 13 years in this, I have learned one thing, that I have met hundreds and thousands of students who are really good, who were supposed to be in the civil services because they write absolutely well. They are so intelligent, they are so hardworking, they are so focused. You know, even in the interview, if they go in the interview, I'm sure they will get the highest marks. But the point is, they never clear the prelims examination. They never clear the prelims examination because they don't know. It's a mystery. Nobody knows why they don't clear the prelims examination. Hypothetically, if they clear the prelims examination, everybody will say they will definitely come in the top 50 or 100 rank. They are as brilliant candidates who have not reached anywhere. So what is the big learning at this point of time that we should be looking at? So prelims is very difficult because you know in prelims examination, it is basically an exam of MCQ questions here. So sometimes solving MCQ questions is a big challenge. A lot of people do not know it. And even for the mains examination, let's take a look. A lot of aspirants, writing is the most important exam in the mains, and you know that a lot of aspirants, I've again come across a lot of people who said, I've been to IAS interview 3 times. I'm 4 times an interview goer. It is my 5th interview. I've given 6 attempts and in 5th interview, but I have not cleared civil services. You must have heard about a lot of people saying that you are a evergreen interview candidate. So The question is, should you become a evergreen interview candidate? Why? Because in interview, the mark is very limited, just 275 marks. Even if you do something, even if you perform an average, you will definitely get minimum 110 is 110 to 130 something that everybody will get. Anybody will get it out of your candidates or your personality. But the point is, the mains examination, the mark in the mains examination is added to the interview. So whatever marks that you have received in the mains is added to the total in the interview that you are getting. So what is the biggest advantage in that? Even say, just imagine that the cutoff is say roughly 900. Just imagine 900 hypothetically. Even if you get 901, you are qualified for the interview. And even in 275, if you score even 200 marks, the point is the other candidates, say, imagine they might have got much higher marks than what you have got. I'm not saying that 900 is a cutoff, it's just taking a random number. Okay, I hope you got the point. Even if it is 900, if you get 901, you're inside. But you are on the borderline. That is the point here. You are actually on the borderline. So these are the important situations that we face in life. So again, the question comes, should I study for the prelims or should I study for the mains examination? This is the big question that everybody is going to ask. And now my answer is very simple in this. You should take a look at this. You should analyze the question paper since 2011 and to 23. One thing that has actually been noticed here is something very similar that you should understand here. The prelims examination definitely is the gateway to pass this. But what I'll tell you one myth also. I'll start with like this. I'll tell you one myth. Previously, the main reason of studying this is, I'll write it here. It is a thought process. The answer is a thought process. This thought process is the main villain here. So the answer to this question is thought process. So what is the thought process? I'll tell you. What is the concept of thought process? Let's understand this. That means it is in the olden times, prelims questions means prelims, mains and interview. The prelims questions means MCQ questions which are always factual. Like who founded the newspaper Bengal Gazette? James Augustus Hickey. Who was the first individual Satyagrahi? Who was the International Congress president in 1924 Belgaum session? And who presided over the Haripura session? And which famous Indian leader, women leader, was actually performing a radio conversation during the Quit India movement time? Like Usha Mehta. So many questions. So the point is, these are the basic factual questions. If you know it, you know it, or else you don't know it. So our expectation was study for the facts. You should be getting a lot of facts. Prelims exam, the thought process is, prelims exam is basically a platform where your factual knowledge is tested. This was the thought process since a long time. Since a long time, this has been a thought process. And in the mains examination, take an attempt. In the mains examination, definitely, they will ask some analytical questions like, what do you think is the role of the president? What do you think is the role of the governor has changed? What is your opinion? What is the reason why this is happening? What is the reason why artificial intelligence? Is it a good thing or a bad thing? So that means in the mains examination, according to the thought process, you have to think. That means whatever things you study, you have to think here. I think that is clear. And in interview, as per the thought process, they can ask you your opinion. What is your opinion on the recent Ukraine-Russia war? How do you think the war could have been prevented? And what did the world community do to prevent this war? So these are the type of the questions that we normally expect in the interview. So this thought process is actually embedded in the minds of all the aspirants in India. For prelims, that means you have to get factual. You should be ready with the factual. For the mains, you should have a bit more analytical level. And interview, you will have to use your analytical skills, your opinion, etc. This is normally the thought process. That means this is the thought process. Let's call the thought process. And the thought process. And in prelims, you have a separate set of standards. In mains, we have a separate set of standards. And interview, you need a separate set of skills. But unfortunately, please understand, the trend of the examination has changed, and you notice the question papers from 2018 to 22. You will realize one very important factor, that even before 2011, you will understand the factor that, or even much before, you will see one trend, that this thought process has changed. That means they can ask in prelims or even in mains, let it be interview, whatever content that you're learning. Imagine that you're learning a content. Say that content is regarding the crops, like you're studying about irrigation, crops, irrigation, or sugarcane. So you have an idea that only factual questions of sugarcane and crops will be asked in the prelims examination. That is the thought process. In the recent year, the thought process has changed, that there is no particular pattern. What is the impact of sugarcane cultivation with the change in rainfall? They can ask you an analytical question in the prelims examination. They can ask you in the format of an MCQ. Very, very important. They can ask a question on irrigation. They can ask a question on irrigation, a very analytical question on irrigation. See, which of the following can be the most possible outcomes of having this type of irrigation? It's an analytical question. They can ask you that analytical type of question in the prelims format or the MCQ format. In the mains examination, they will definitely ask you such analytical questions. And for interview, definitely, if you do not know this, you will not be able to answer it. So the key question is, whether you study for prelims or mains, our ultimate idea is not to study for prelims and not to study for the mains, but to know the concept clarity in detail. That is the basic point that you're going to understand. Have the concept clarity. And sometimes they can even ask a factual question. But do not believe that prelims is only an exam of facts, mains is only an exam of analytics. It can be either ways, it is unpredictable. So have a concept clarity. Imagine that Gandhi, the role of Gandhi and non-cooperation movement. Imagine that this is an area from the modern India. Gandhi and non-cooperation movement. In mains, you might think that Gandhiji and main, how do you think Gandhiji's role changed the character of non-cooperation movement? In prelims, our usual thought process expectation is which is the date when Gandhiji withdrew the Chori Chora? When did Chori Chora incident happen? And who was the president of non-cooperation for Congress during the non-cooperation movement? I'm not saying that it will not be asked, but which of the following statements are true regarding non-cooperation movement means they can ask an analytical MCQ type questions, which is against a thought process. So in mains, definitely they can ask you. So what is the learning? Whatever concepts, the point is, whatever concepts you are learning, for a better view, let's say that we learn it from the mains perspective, because according to the thought process, mains is one area where you learn everything analytically. Whatever concepts you are learning, make sure that you know what is the issue, how is the issue happening, why is the issue happening, what, how, why, when, and what is the significance of this issue, and what is the impact that this issue has created, or what is the impact that you can relate to this, and what are the positives and negatives, and on top of that, what is your opinion? So you can say what, why, what, how, why, when, significance, impact, positives and negatives, and say opinions. 8 important things that I've told you. There are more topics. So whatever things that you're learning for the civil service examination, make sure that you learn the content correctly and apply it according to the scenario. You can just take it down. You have learned the content. That means you have decided that, say imagine that you have an arrow, bow and arrow. So definitely this is a bow and arrow, and you have this arrow with you. So just imagine, I'm just drawing this picture. You have this arrow. At one side, the basic thing is you should know archery. In one time, they might give you a doll like this. You have to shoot this. You have to shoot this doll. Next time, they can actually give you a flying bird. Flying bird means the bird will actually fly. That means you have to aim it and shoot it. Double trap shooting in Olympic. You have the double trap shooting. Shoot it. What do you have? Ultimately, you should know how to aim and how to shoot, or how to shoot an arrow, or how to shoot a pistol. This is the format. So I only study for the prelims, I only study for the mains. Do not work on the strategy. Be open-minded, learn the concept completely and apply it for the prelims perspective, apply it for the mains perspective, and apply it for the interview perspective. So this should be, so thought process. Aspirants' thought process should not, that means do not get stuck. I only solve MCQ questions every day. Factual MCQ question every day. Make sure you solve MCQ questions. Make sure that you write. Make sure that you speak. Very important. Make sure that you speak. So do this everything with concept clarity. Then I think concept clarity means, do you remember the 8 things that I told you from a question? Remember that 8 things. Do that properly. This is how you create a big change in the civil service examination pattern. So now I think thought process of the aspirant should change. Learn the whole concept. You know, when I say learn the whole concept, make sure that you know the concept in 360-degree perspective and apply it according to the prelims, apply it according to the mains, and even apply it according to the interview. Do not say that I am studying for prelims, I am studying for mains. You study to solve or clear the examination. While you do for prelims, you practice MCQ. While you study for mains, you write it. While you going for interview, you speak it. So the content that you learn is the same. Know it from 360, apply it according to prelims, mains, and interview. Simple rule. Thought process of the aspirants should definitely change. That is the one important thing that I wanted to tell you. So thank you so much, and do check out our batches, and if you would love to get our help and our feedback and our mentoring, definitely please let us know. We are very happy to help you. And do subscribe to our YouTube channel, and do subscribe and share it with your UPSC preparing friends. Let's create a big change in the way how we learn. Thank you so much.